Hey, everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a story that'll grip you, break your heart, and leave you thinking long after it's over. It's about trust, betrayal, and survival, and it's not for the faint of heart. So, grab a coffee, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into it. Pause. What would you do if the person you trusted most turned out to be a monster? Let's meet Sarah Thompson. The morning sun filtered through the sheer curtains of Sarah's Tennessee kitchen, catching dust specks dancing like fireflies. It was the kind of quiet morning she used to love with her late husband, David. Coffee brewing, NPR humming, no one expecting anything but her presence. But now, a year after David's passing, Sarah sat alone at her breakfast table, staring into her coffee like it held answers. At 47, a nurse for over 20 years, mother to a grown daughter, and a widow, grief had settled in quietly. Not loud sobs, but in the untouched side of her bed or the extra serving of chili she cooked out of habit. Friends stopped saying, "Sorry for your loss." The casseroles dried up after 2 months. Her mailbox? Just bills and ads. But life, stubborn as ever, nudged her forward. Her daughter, Ellie, brought it up on a Sunday video call. "Mom, it's okay to move on. Dad wouldn't want you alone forever." Sarah laughed it off, but that night, with a glass of wine, she joined Silver Connections, a dating site for folks over 40. She wasn't after romance, just someone to talk to while folding laundry. Messages poured in, awkward hellos, creepy one-liners. She nearly gave up until he messaged. "James Carter." His first words? "You seem like someone who listens when the world stops making sense." That line hooked her. James, 49, was a former lab tech, now teaching part-time in Chattanooga. His photo showed warm eyes, salt and pepper stubble, and quiet strength. Their chats flowed, weather, music, grief, resilience. James spoke like a man who'd seen storms but still chased sunlight. After 3 weeks, he asked her to dinner at a cozy Italian bistro by Lake Chickamauga. Candlelight, fresh pasta, no screens between them. Sarah said yes. That afternoon, she stood before her mirror, smoothing her navy dress, heart racing like a teenager's. It was just dinner, she told herself. But deep down, a whisper said, maybe love isn't done with me yet. Pause. She had no idea what was waiting. The bistro glowed like a postcard, yellow lights spilling out, violin music drifting. Sarah pulled into the gravel lot at sunset, palms sweaty. She saw couples strolling, grabbed her purse, and stepped out. James waited by the door, tall in a navy blazer, silver-gray hair catching the porch light. His smile wasn't rehearsed, it was real. "Wow," he said softly. "You look peaceful." Sarah laughed. "That's a new one. Usually, it's nice dress or you're taller than I thought." He held the door, and they entered a cozy room smelling of garlic and red wine. Over dinner, conversation flowed like good wine. James shared stories of growing up in North Carolina, losing his sister to cancer, how working in a lab taught him to value every breath. Sarah opened up about David, the loneliness she couldn't name, how silence felt louder than screams. James listened, eyes steady, fingers not reaching too fast across the table. "I used to think grief was the end," he said, stirring his espresso. "Now I think it's where we slow down to meet someone who gets it." Sarah smiled into her wine glass. After dessert, they walked by the lake, moonlight trailing across the water, honeysuckle in the air. At her car, he hesitated. "Is it okay if I kiss you goodnight?" Sarah nodded. It was soft, unhurried, promising more. Driving home, windows cracked to the summer air, Sarah felt a door opening, not just to a new chapter, but a new possibility. Pause. Have you ever felt that spark of hope? Drop it in the comments. What's a moment that gave you butterflies again? The next weekend, James invited her to a lakeside in outside Cleveland, Tennessee. A quaint, 2-story cabin with stone fireplaces and cedar-paneled rooms. Sarah arrived to find him on the porch with Merlot and lilies, her wedding flower, mentioned once in passing. That small gesture tightened her heart. Tenderness. Attention. It had been so long. They ate takeout by the fireplace, laughing over jazz records from his Bluetooth speaker. Then, silence fell, heavy, electric. He moved closer. She didn't pull away. Their first kiss that night was deeper, hungrier, yet gentle. James brushed a curl from her face, eyes asking permission. Sarah let her guard fall. They moved slowly, nervous laughter, tentative touches, relearning closeness. He was patient, respectful, undressing her like a memory he wanted to keep. He reached for a condom from the nightstand. Sarah barely noticed. The room glowed with firelight, shadows dancing. They made love 3 times, talking, whispering, drifting in and out of sleep. He kissed her wrist. She traced his shoulder. He called her beautiful, rare. But by the 3rd time, something felt off, a slight burn, a faint sting. She chalked it up to being out of practice, shifted positions. He adjusted, murmuring concern. By morning, he was dressed, handing her coffee, kissing her forehead. "Last night was a gift," he said. "You're a gift." Then he left, promising to call, leaving only his cologne on the pillow and an echo of his voice. Sarah lay back, warm from his touch, thinking she'd found someone who understood her. Pause. She didn't know something unholy had been left behind. 2 days later, Sarah woke before dawn, a burning in her lower abdomen. At first, it was mild, maybe a UTI, she thought, common for women her age. She drank cranberry juice, tried to ignore it. By mid-morning, the pain sharpened, angry. A fever crept up, and a sour smell lingered, no matter how much she showered. She blamed hormones, nerves. James hadn't called or texted. By evening, the pain was unbearable, crawling, squirming between her legs. In the bathroom, hands trembling, she held a mirror, turned on the brightest light, and braced herself. What she saw made her drop the mirror, slamming her hip against the tub. Something was moving, tiny, pale, wriggling things. Her mind screamed, a nightmare, a trick of light. Then the smell hit, putrid, like spoiled meat. Maggots. Crawling from inside her. She screamed, a primal sound, stumbling half-naked to her neighbor's door. "Call an ambulance. Something's wrong." Her neighbor saw the blood on her thighs, her shaking, and dialed 911. At the hospital, nurses and ER doctors swarmed. Tests, samples, morphine. One nurse gasped at the larvae. They sedated Sarah for an emergency procedure to flush the infection. Dr. Meera Patel, a veteran gynecologist, admitted she'd never seen this. When Sarah woke, she whispered, "Am I dying?" Dr. Patel, grave but calm, sat beside her. "No, but someone hurt you deliberately. Those maggots were placed there." Sarah's stomach churned. "What?" Dr. Patel explained, "Blowfly eggs, likely inserted into the condom's tip before use, hatching fast in a moist environment. He tampered with it. It was intentional." Sarah shuddered, remembering James' tenderness, his voice calling her a gift. Dr. Patel met her eyes. "He's the kind of man who wraps gifts in rot." Pause. Can you imagine that betrayal? Hit that like button if this story's hitting you hard. Sarah felt hollow, not just from physical trauma, but from trusting a man who wanted her decay. Dr. Patel returned with a folder. "We analyzed the maggots, Lacilia sericata, green bottle flies, found on decomposing tissue. We retrieved the condom from the inn's trash. The tip was bloated, filled with fly eggs." Sarah gagged. "He planned this," Dr. Patel said. James, who claimed lab experience, knew biology, anatomy. His confidence, his care, it was strategy. The ER flagged this as sexual assault with biological tampering. The police are involved. Sarah clenched the sheets. "I want to press charges." Dr. Patel nodded. "Tell the detectives everything. This wasn't just cruelty, it was calculated." Detective Mark Monroe, seasoned and calm, met Sarah 2 days post-surgery. "We'll start slow," he said, notebook in hand. Sarah recounted every message, dinner, kiss, the lilies, the pain. When she said, "James Carter," Monroe's brow twitched. No James Carter in Tennessee's records. Fake identity. Sarah's stomach twisted. Who was I with? Monroe's team used hotel data and gas station footage to run facial recognition. Within 48 hours, a hit. Derek Cole, 49, former lab tech, fired from a North Carolina morgue for inappropriate conduct with cadavers. Notes in his file read, obsessed with decomposition. Fixated on female corpses. Sarah was stunned. He brought me flowers. Monroe nodded. That's how predators work. They charm, they study you. Pause. Ever met someone too perfect? Share in the comments. We're reading. Monroe's team suspected Derek had done this before. 2 women in North Carolina, over 40, vanished after meeting someone like him on dating sites. 1, Marcia Evans, 52, a hospice volunteer, was found decomposed in a culvert. Initially ruled heatstroke, the coroner now found larvae in her body. Partially developed, like Sarah's. Surveillance confirmed Derek's silver maxima near both cases. He's not just a predator, Monroe said. He's a ritualist. A multi-state alert went out. Derek used burner phones, fake IDs, no digital trail. But a parking citation led to a mobile home in Summerton, South Carolina. At dawn, authorities raided it. Jars of formaldehyde lined the counter, a freezer held dissected animals, and a laptop had folders labeled stages and gifts. Hidden condoms contained insect eggs. Derek was gone, but DNA linked him to Sarah and the other women. 4 days later, U.S. Marshals caught him at a Tulsa truck stop, hair dyed black, fake glasses. He smiled during arrest. In interrogation, Derek was calm, humming Bach. You know why you're here, Monroe said, showing photos, DNA, footage. Derek leaned forward. No games. I want to be understood. He spoke dreamily. Death isn't the end, it's microscopic, beautiful. I saw it when my mother died. I was 8. She stayed in our trailer, warm, changing. The smell, the insects, it's honest. Monroe's pen froze. What does this have to do with Sarah? Derek smiled. She reminded me of my mother. I wanted her to see the truth, beauty in decay. He called it intimacy, a canvas for nature. You're sick, Monroe said. Derek grinned. I'm honest. Pause. What's the creepiest thing you've heard? Drop it below. The trial in Chattanooga drew national attention. Headlines screamed, "The Maggot Lover." Sarah sat in court daily, flanked by Ellie and counselors, unflinching as prosecutors showed photos, read Derek's confession, and detailed his tools. Her testimony was searing. He made me feel special, then tried to erase my dignity. But I'm still here. The jury took 6 hours. Guilty, aggravated sexual battery, attempted murder, biological assault. Life without parole. Derek stood, calm. My legacy will linger in every breath of decay. Sarah didn't flinch. 2 weeks later, Sarah spoke at a Cleveland, Tennessee, community center. Healing through truth, the banner read. Women, survivors, widows, curious, filled the room. I thought my life was over when I saw what crawled out of me, Sarah said. But I fought. I spoke. We're told we're too old for love, that loneliness makes us vulnerable. That's a lie. We're human, and predators hunt that. Don't let shame silence you. Applause erupted. Women hugged her, one whispering, "You gave me courage to leave." Sarah became the face of the Second Trust Foundation, educating women on safe dating and grooming signs. She and Ellie built it together. Webinars, shelters, a mother-daughter team healing through truth. Sarah's scars lingered, nerve damage, trauma, dreams of crawling. Therapy with Dr. Elaine Foster helped her own her rage, tell her story without shaking. She redecorated her home, got a rescue dog, Clara, and found peace. Ellie asked, "Will you date again?" Sarah smiled. "Maybe someday. Right now, I'm in love with peace." On her survival's anniversary, she visited Lake Chickamauga, tossing a lily into the water. "You didn't end me," she whispered. She'd learned not all killers carry knives, some bring flowers. But truth is louder than fear. Survival, spoken aloud, is a sword. Sarah walked away, alive, unbreakable. Pause. If this moved you, smash that like button, share your thoughts below, and hit the bell for more stories. Stay safe, stay strong, and we'll see you next time.